I don't know if there's such a thing as a perfect anything, but this chicken roasting technique is going to get you pretty close to a perfect roast chicken. Please remember to like and subscribe below. Okay, to get started, we're going to need a whole chicken, some salt, some chicken stock, a shot of vermouth, and some butter. Place your chicken in the pan that you'll be roasting it in. I'm using a large stainless steel skillet with a thick bottom. Begin by generously salting the inside cavity of your chicken. Next, you'll truss your bird by placing your butcher's twine underneath the legs, pulling up, crossing over, and returning underneath the legs again, and then around the bottom of your legs to come around to the front and under the neck, while at the same time tucking your wings under the bird like so, and then tying the string using the wings as an anchor point. Here, you can loop around your string 3 times so that it won't come undone as you're tying it and you don't need another hand to help you. This trussing technique is a vital component in the recipe. It helps roast the chicken more evenly. We're going to continue salting the outside here, and what I have is a 5.39 pound bird. And the salt ratio for this recipe is about 1 tablespoon of salt for every 2 pounds of meat. So I do about 3 tablespoons, and mixed into the salt is about 3 teaspoons of freshly ground black pepper. The salting process is another vital step. You want to evenly coat the bird, and you want to use all of your salt. It seems like a lot maybe, but it isn't. It really isn't. Think of it as a salt brine. The aroma that comes out of this final product does remind me a bit of bacon. As you can see, I'm salting on every side of the bird. I'm using a fine grain kosher salt, which isn't as salty as other salts I've tasted, so you might want to adjust depending on the type of salt you're using. Again, take your time and evenly coat your chicken. And if you have a minute, in the comments below, tell us what sort of salt you used, or anything else you'd like to share. And please do leave comments. I really appreciate your thoughts and input. Alright, now that we're done salting, you should have something that looks like this. And you'll leave it out on your counter for at least 30 minutes before we put it in the oven. Making sure your oven is preheated to 425, next we're going to turn the bird on its side before we put it in. Making sure that there's a pan to catch any drippings, place your chicken in its roasting pan on the center rack of your oven. Something like this. You'll be roasting your bird for 25 minutes on its side. And after that first 25 minutes, you'll take your chicken out, and it should look something like this. Okay, now without leaving your chicken out for too long, you'll get prepared to turn it on its other side. Very carefully, using whatever tools you need to make sure that the chicken skin doesn't stick to the pan. It's important to note here that I'm not turning the chicken on its breast. Instead, I'm turning it on the opposite side that it was on, just like this. And now you're going to put it back in the oven, set at 425 still, for another 25 minutes. And in a cast iron skillet with a lid on top, I'm putting these potatoes in, which should be done at the same time as the chicken, garnished with oregano, rosemary, garlic, salt, pepper, and olive oil. Alright, next, we're going to be taking our chicken out and turning it one last time. Again, take your time. Be really careful not to tear the skin. Use whatever tools you need, take a deep breath, and turn. You should have a chicken that looks something like this. And finally, you'll return the chicken to your oven for between 20 and 35 minutes, depending on the size of your chicken. And if all goes according to plan, you should end up with something that looks a little bit like this. Its internal temperature at the thigh should be at about 165 degrees. And if I do say so myself, that is one good looking bird. But we're not done yet. We still have the pan sauce to make. At this point, your chicken will stay warm, so don't think too much about it. Now remember, the handle on this pan is still very hot. Use something to hold it. Alright, we'll start by setting our heat to medium and bringing the pan juices to a simmer. Then, using a wooden spoon, we'll break up some of the bits that got stuck to the bottom. After this, you'll pour in your 1.5 ounces of dry white vermouth, and you'll continue to loosen up all the pan drippings at the bottom. Let everything simmer for a few minutes to cook off the alcohol. Alright, Now when it starts looking like this, you can put in your 1.5 cups of low sodium or no sodium chicken stock. You could ladle out some of that excess fat. I leave it in, I think it adds flavor. You'll continue cooking this on medium to medium-low heat until it reduces by half and you have something that looks like this. Turn off the heat and stir to cool it off a little bit, and then you'll add your very cold tablespoon of unsalted butter. And you will whisk and continue whisking until the butter has emulsified. Of course, this recipe does ask for 2 tablespoons of butter. Remember to taste and adjust to your liking. And now you have your gravy, and you could strain it if you wanted to. But next, we're going to carve our chicken. And there you have it, folks. Oh yeah, I started carving on the other side without hitting the record button. Hey, I'm not perfect, but this chicken might be. The chicken did turn out very juicy. As you can see, right there, that piece right in the center. And it was just a really beautiful meal. I hope you try this recipe, and I hope you enjoy it. And I hope that you like, subscribe, and follow. See that rooster in the bottom right corner? You can hit that and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching.